Lab program 3A. The problem definition is to write a Java program to read two integers a and b, compute a divided by b and print the result if b is not 0. Otherwise, raise an exception when b is equal to 0. So this program is basically to understand the exceptions and exception handling in Java. So before exactly looking into the program, let us look at the exceptions in Java. So exception is basically an abnormal condition during the program execution. So when you have divide by 0, so this is one abnormal condition. You are opening a file not found, or file does not exist. You are in a networked programming environment and the network connection got disconnected. The socket does not exist. So all these kinds of there are n number of abnormal conditions, and an exception is an event that disrupts the normal flow of the program. So with respect to Java, an exception is an object which is thrown at the runtime. So it is an object that is thrown at the runtime. Okay. So in Java, there is a hierarchy of Java exception classes. So here is the hierarchy of Java exception classes. So first one, the throwable class is the superclass. Then we have exception and error as the two subclasses. So in under exception, again you can see IO exception, SQL exception. So like this, there are this is the exception class hierarchy of Java, right? So there are two types of exceptions. One is checked exception, second one is the unchecked one. Checked exceptions are the one which are checked at the compile time, and unchecked exceptions are not checked at the compile time. So when compared to the C++ language, so exceptions in C++ all were unchecked, but in Java most of the exceptions are checked exceptions, and that is the power of Java. So you can see in Java, exceptions under error and runtime exceptions are the only unchecked exceptions. The right side error and the runtime exceptions, these are the unchecked exceptions. Otherwise rest of the exceptions are all checked exceptions, right? So in order to understand and program with exceptions, we should be aware of 5 important keywords. First one, try. Second, catch. Third, finally. Fourth, throw. Fifth, throws. Try. Try is the keyword that is used to specify a block where we should place the exception code. I mean, what is exception code? The code that may generate some error. The code that may generate some abnormal condition. So that code need to be embedded within a block, and that block is called as the try block. Okay. Next, catch. So when you have the try block, then so try means, I mean the try for that exception. If an exception or abnormal condition occurs, then catch that. So it is a block that is used to handle the exception. So with an example, we will see these try and catch blocks. Then finally is also one block that is used to execute some important code of the program, and it is executed whether an exception is handled or not. One more keyword is the throw. Throw keyword is used to throw an exception. So usually the exception, as we saw, an exception is an object which is thrown at the runtime. So we usually throw a new object of the exception class that we have created. So with an example we will look at that. Then one more keyword is throws. So in the lab program 1, we have already seen about this keyword, the throws, which is used to declare the exception. I mean, it does not throw exception. Throw keyword throws the exception, throws declares the exception. So the throws just specifies that there may occur an exception in the method. Okay, so which is used usually with the method signature. So now we will look at with an example why we need to handle the exception. So without exception how the program behaves, and with exception how the program behaves. So the same lab program we will use. So here we need to read two integers a and b and compute a divided by b. Okay, so here we have a very simple Java program to read two integers a and b and computing the result a divided by, you can see the println statement a divided by b, and I have written some println statement rest of the program. Okay, so let me execute this program. It asks for enter the value of a 5, enter the value of b, denominator 2. So the result is 2. Since we are declaring the result, I mean a and b are integers, so the result is integer, it is not 2.5. and rest of the program statement also got printed. Okay, so far nothing, no problems. Now the problems arise when I run it once again. I give the numerator 5, denominator value as 0. So now you can see that there is an exception in the main thread, in the main method, divide by 0, the arithmetic exception. So where the exception got raised at some line number 20. Okay, so line number 20. And also you can see that rest of the program statement did not execute, did not get print, isn't it? So as normally what we expect as a common programmer is that even though there is some part of the code that may raise an exception, or that is that may behave abnormally, we should efficiently handle it. I mean there should be some kind of warning message wherein you are dividing by 0, so please take care of this. And what we expect is the rest of the code should be executed normally, correct? But without exception what happened is this statement did not execute. I mean rest of the program did not execute, isn't it? So the program got stuck here. So this is where the exceptions comes into picture. Okay, so for this purpose, in order to give some warning message and continue with the rest of the program execution, what we are supposed to do, so the code which generates the exception should be put within a try block. The notion is try the keyword. Okay, try is the keyword, and place the statement that may generate an exception within the try block. Okay, within the try block. All right, see here, so this statement may generate a exception, so that is why I have put it within the try block. So once you have defined try block, you should have the catch block. So the catch block can be written like this, catch. So this is a kind of arithmetic exception. So arithmetic exception, so it is a user defined, I mean it is a built-in exception. Arithmetic exception, it's already a built-in exception class, say E. Okay, so catch block, see here, this is how you have to place the try block and the catch block. So in the catch block what do? You can just say system.out.println E, just print that message. Okay, so you can see when you are catching, you have to pass as an argument the object of some exception class. So here there is a built-in exception called as the arithmetic exception, and object name is E, and you are printing that object message. Okay, so now we will see what will be the output when I give the denominator as 0. So I rerun the program once again. A value 5, B value 0 I place. Yes, can you see now? Java.lang arithmetic exception divide by 0, right? And rest of the program also got printed. So this is the important point to be observed. So in earlier, when I did not have try catch block, rest of the program did not execute. did not print, but now there is some kind of warning message or exception message that is given to the user, followed by rest of the program got executed. Okay, so this is the power of exceptions. All right. Okay, so this is arithmetic exam. This is one way of handling the exception. This is built-in exception. So we, the users, we also can define our own exceptions. Okay, so how to do that we will see. So how to handle it then? So it is over. So yeah, so the arithmetic exception, whichever I told, is a built-in exception. Similarly, we have what are called as custom exceptions or the user-defined exceptions. So custom exceptions or the user-defined exceptions, that we can create our own exceptions. Okay, and the Java custom exceptions are used to customize the exception according to the user need, according to the user's needs. Okay, right. So in order to have a custom exception, you should know at least two keywords. One is throw keyword. The throw keyword is used to explicitly throw an exception. Okay, and one more method that you should be aware of is get message of throwable class. Okay, so you should extend the exception class. See, throwable is the main class. Whenever you are creating your own custom exceptions, you have to extend this class exception, and you can now use the method called as get message. Okay, that gives the detailed description about the exception. Okay, so with the example we will see, and that itself is your lab program. So in order to have the custom exception, so first before the main class you should have one more class. Say I will call it as my exception, right? So what you are supposed to do, this is important, extends exception. Okay, extends exception. See here, so class my exception, I am creating one user defined custom exception that extends the exception class. What is this exception class? So this is a subclass under the class hierarchy, isn't it? Next, now so you have to instantiate that message, exception message. Therefore you should have the constructor. So I will make the public my exception string yes. Okay, wherein I call for, so I have created I am creating the constructor of my exception class, where I am using the constructor of my superclass. So my superclass is exception, correct? So just call the superclass constructor by passing the string yes. Okay, right. So we will shortly see how this works. So this is the basic notion of creating the user defined exceptions. Okay, now how to create the object of this class, or how to throw this object, how to throw this exception, we will see. So try. So just look at the problem statement. We have to compute a by b if b is not 0. If b is 0, then we have to raise an exception. So that is why what I will do, so in the try block, what I do is if b not equal to 0, I will print the result. Else, see here, this is important, throw. Yeah, I have to throw a exception, my exception, right? Since exceptions are nothing but objects, at the beginning we saw an exception is an object which is thrown at runtime. So that is why when you are about to throw an exception, you have to throw the object of that exception. So throw new my exception. What is my exception? So my exception, and you have to pass in the string as a message which you would like to print. Okay, say alert. Okay, divide by 0 error, so something like this. Okay, so throw new my exception. All right, throw new my exception. So new is the keyword that is used to create the object of a class. What is the class? My exception. What is my exception? Which is nothing but a user defined exception. How do you come to know that a class is a user defined exception? Because it extends exception, right? It inherits the properties of exception. Okay, right. Now you have to catch it. So catch my exception, catch my exception E. Okay, so that is how you have to catch my exception E, and system.out.println E dot get message. Okay, E dot get message. So that is how you can print the warning message which you have supplied as an argument. Okay, so now we will look at the output of this program. Enter the value of A 5, value of B 0. Yes. What is the message? Alert, divide by 0 error. So this is the custom exception message customized by the user, isn't it? So how it worked? How did it work? So first I am putting the statements in try block where B is not 0, denominator is not 0. I am printing the result. Otherwise I am throwing the new exception, my exception, user defined exception, wherein the statement within the double quote, the statement within the double quote is passed as a string argument for the constructor. So now this constructor of my exception uses the constructor of the superclass. So for my exception, which is the superclass? Exception, right? So in the exception class we have a constructor that initializes the custom message that is customized by the user. Okay, so that is how it gets customized. And when I am catching my exception E, right, so I am printing the detailed message by using the method e.getMessage. So now e.getMessage will return whatever the customized message that has been passed by the user who is throwing this exception, my exception. Understood? So this is what how to create the user defined exceptions and throw it. And in the output you can also see that rest of the program also got printed. Rest of the program also got printed, right? So we will rerun the program. So value of A 10, then B 2, the result is 5, rest of the program is printed. I rerun the program. Value of A is 10, value of B is 0, denominator 0 I make, so it gives exception message, and but still rest of the program gets executed, right? So as part of the output you have to take both the outputs when B is not 0 and when B is 0, and that's about this program. Thank you.